AI is about to change the music industry and the world forever. And most people don't even realize it. Hello, everyone. My name is Zach, and I'm an independent music artist and content creator. I've uploaded several videos on this YouTube channel over the past couple of years, and I know it's been a minute since I've uploaded an actual YouTube video other than a music video or a lyric video or just content related to music in general. But I wanted to announce right now that I'll be starting a new series on this channel where I share my thoughts on interesting things happening in the world. And today's interesting topic is AI. Okay, so a few days ago, I went on this crazy AI binge, watching everything I could to learn more about it and how it's going to change our world. What made me go on this content dive is I realized I didn't really know too much about AI in the first place. I mean, I know about ChatGPT and I know about Suno AI Music as, me being a music creator. Like, that's basically all the music industry is talking about right now is Suno. It's going crazy. But other than those two things, I really didn't know too much about AI. And as we all know, technology moves so fast in today's world, it can be kind of hard to keep up with it all. So basically, after learning more about AI and hearing how many people are saying it's going to seriously affect the job market, it really got me thinking, how is AI going to impact the music industry? If we think about what we have seen in the music industry just this past year in 2025, we have seen completely AI-generated songs chart at the top of the Billboard charts. We have seen AI musicians, gotta correct myself, have over 2 million monthly listeners on Spotify. And the people behind those AI artists on Spotify aren't always musicians themselves. They just insert prompts into AI music sites and it just generates them an amazing song. I've tried this personally for myself with Suno AI. And let me tell you, it is very easy to just type in a prompt and it can literally generate a song for you in seconds. So here's the question. How can a real human musician compete with AI artists today? The answer in my mind is simple. Real human connection. People want to listen to music and connect with art made by real humans. And the more the market is going to be flooded with AI-generated music, the more valuable music that's created by real human beings is going to be. So now that I've shared my initial thoughts with you guys on how real human musicians will be able to compete with AI musicians, let's dive into 5 practical things we can all do that I believe will set us real human musicians apart from AI musicians. The first way to stand out as a real human musician will be to focus on authenticity and real emotional connection. At the end of the day, AI can replicate melodies, chords, vocals, and even entire styles of music. But what it can't replicate is your personal story. When you write from your own life, your own pain, what you have personally gone through, people will connect with your story. And therefore, it becomes more valuable than just making good music. People listen to your music because of you. AI can generate an infinite number of songs, and sometimes those songs are actually pretty good, but they cannot replicate your own personal story, and that is where people will feel most connected to you. The more vulnerable and personal you get in your music, the harder it is for AI to replace you and your own personal brand as a musician. Speaking of a personal brand, that leads me to my next point, which is number 2. Real human musicians who build their own personal brand will win over AI musicians. So from this current year, 2025 and beyond, we will no longer be competing with the quality of our music. There's just so much good music out there today, and AI is able to create basically top charting songs in 30 seconds, which is way faster than any human could ever compete with. So I believe we will no longer be just focusing on the quality of music. We will need to focus and prioritize our personal brand. AI musicians don't have a real human face. They don't have a real personality. They don't have a lifestyle that humans can watch and follow. But as a real human being, you do. And with content creation now, you can basically document your life, show people what you believe in, show people the lifestyle you live, bring people along your journey, and therefore people can relate to you being on camera and therefore build a real relationship with you, an authentic relationship that is a real human being to another real human being. And that is something AI can never do. And when people feel like they are connected with you, which generally means you have a very strong personal brand, it means they totally buy into you. They will basically be up for anything you do, whether that's putting out a song, whether that's putting out, content or putting out a film or whatever you do, sell a digital product. People will be interested in what you do because they have already bought into you. They like you as a real human being and as a creator because you made them feel something, or you inspired them, or you helped them get through a dark season. That is something AI cannot do because they are not a real human being. And so therefore, your content and your story and your presence becomes your real competitive advantage over AI. Number 3, musicians who use AI as a tool, not as a replacement. The musicians who are going to thrive in the next coming years are going to be the ones who embrace AI instead of ignoring it or trying to fight it. The reality is, AI can help you write songs faster, it can help you come up with ideas quicker, and it can help you come up with melodies and chords that you might have not been able to come up with on your own. You can then take those ideas and play around with them to eventually come up with your own song, or to just help fill in like filler words that you need when you're writing your own lyrics. This is something I personally do when I get stuck on a song. Instead of having to spend hours or days coming up with a word that might rhyme with another word, or if I need a sentence that needs exactly 7 syllables and I can't come up with words that fit those 7 syllables, I'll just use AI to help me come up with 7 syllables that fit in a sentence. It actually really speeds up the workflow. An actual example that I could probably use here that we're most likely all familiar with is Tony Stark and Jarvis. We've probably all seen an Avengers movie, and so I'm sure we've all seen Tony Stark use Jarvis, and it's just this amazing piece of technology that he uses to help him come up with ideas or to find solutions to problems that he has. And in a similar way, AI is basically like that for us today. It's still at the very early stages, but I would not be surprised in the next 20, 50 years, we might have something like that, which would be super sick. If we utilize AI this way, we will be able to put out music much faster than we would have if we were to try to just come up with everything on our own, which means you can just build a bigger catalog much faster than musicians have been able to do in the past generations. Here's another example that I'm sure we're all familiar with. Think about when you write emails to clients or when you need to respond to just, anybody over an email. And let's say you need to respond to 10 emails in the next 20 minutes just to save time. Well, if you use AI, you'll be able to come up with messages and responses pretty quickly to each of those 10 emails. Sometimes emails can be pretty wordy and you have to really think about what you need to say in them. AI can really help you write those emails super quick. And I have personal experience with this, and I'm sure we all do. I'm sure we've all done it. So think of it like that. AI will be able to help you write music quicker and faster, and therefore build a bigger catalog over time. But I will say, here's the catch. I never plan on using AI vocals in my songs. I always plan on working with real human musicians because I want to make my music as real as possible. I don't want it to sound super generic or super generated by AI just because you can kind of tell when things are generated by AI as of today. That might change in the future, but right now you can tell. There's just something special about using a real human vocal on a song. There's also something special about, a real human being producing the most of the music, such as myself. I'm a music producer. I like to produce most of my music, and then I like to write most of my lyrics. I just use AI to help me on parts when I get stuck. And then, I always still will work with real human musicians as singers, or if I want to bring in session players. But that's going to be, I think, my competitive advantage. And I just wanted to share that. So take that as you will. Moving on to number 4, live shows and real experiences will become more valuable. As AI-generated music floods the market, live shows, either digital or in person, will become pure gold. And that's because people love to see live music. People love to see how they interact with their instruments. People love to see how musicians will interact with the crowd. People love to see, live DJ mixes. That is something irreplaceable that AI can never do. And people still love to feel that real human connection that you get when you go to see a real live performance. I believe that artists who implement live performances in their music career, whether that be an actual live show or just singing live in content videos on the internet, I believe those people will be able to stand out from AI musicians just because it's a real human performance, and fans of music love that. And lastly, we have number 5. Ownership will be the ultimate advantage real human musicians have. So I'm not sure when this debate started, but basically the US government, and I'm sure governments around the world, are debating whether AI music should be rightfully copyrighted. The conclusion that they come to is that AI generated work cannot be copyrighted unless it embodies meaningful human authorship. So basically what the US Copyright Office is saying is that if you just go into an AI software and just tell it to make a hit country song, and you don't add any of the lyrics, you don't create any of the music, it just generates a song, you won't be able to copyright it. And therefore, it kind of loses all of its leverage in basically how you could make money as a musician. Which means, as a real human musician, if you create all your own music with the help of AI, you're still putting in your own real human thought into the chords, into the lyrics, into the composition and the actual music components. And so therefore, you will be able to copyright all of your own music. And that is massive leverage long term, especially if you're an independent artist who owns the majority, if not all, of all your royalties on the publishing side and the mastering side. You can make very good money long term by just capitalizing off of the streams that your songs will get over time. And that is something that AI musicians will be struggling with. It'll be interesting to see what happens to them as, over time, whether all the songs they put out will be copyrighted and they'll be able to monetize their streams. Another big component to this is if you do own your songs, not only do you get paid all of that money, you do get full control of whatever happens to that music. So if eventually you do want to sign those songs to a record label, you can. Eventually, if you do get sync opportunities, you can sign your music and partner with those sync collaborations. If you do want to sell your catalog, you can do that as well. Prioritizing ownership of your music over time is going to be a really important thing to do. And also, if you do own the majority of your songs, you don't always have to rely on touring either as a real human musician, because as we all know, that can get really tiring being on the road all the time. So it could be really important to make sure you own the majority of your music so that you can really capitalize off of streaming royalties and perhaps other opportunities. But that is something AI artists will really struggle to do simply because it'll be much harder for them to copyright their music. That's all I have for this video, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you guys learned a lot from it, or perhaps I hoped it just helped open your eyes to potentially how AI will impact the music industry and just the world in general. If you guys like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and make sure to hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. Y'all take it easy, and I'll see y'all in the next one.